Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine for a moment that you're standing in the middle of a storm. The winds are howling, the rain is pouring down, and everything you've worked for seems like it's falling apart. In that moment, you have two choices: to surrender to the storm or to rebuild. So don't just rebuild the pieces of your life. Rebuild yourself piece by piece, day by day. Keep moving forward with faith, confidence, and the relentless pursuit of being the best version of yourself. The storm will pass. When it does, you'll stand taller, stronger, and wiser than ever before. Resilience and growth are foundational to the process of rebuilding oneself. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and difficult circumstances, but it's not these struggles that define us. It's how we respond to them that shapes our future. When faced with adversity, we are given an opportunity to develop resilience, and with resilience comes growth. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from hardship. It's about learning, evolving, and becoming stronger through the very experiences that seem designed to break us. It's the ability to adapt, to rise above, and to continue moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. At its core, resilience is a mindset, a choice to keep going in the face of adversity. It's easy to be strong when everything is going well, when life is smooth and predictable, but real strength emerges when we face hardship. Resilience is built in the moments when we encounter a setback, when the world seems to push us down. This quality doesn't come from reading motivational quotes or hearing others speak about overcoming challenges. It comes from deep within, from the ability to tap into an inner strength that refuses to give up, even when the odds are against us. It's a process of pushing through failure, disappointment, and pain, refusing to let them define us or determine our future. Life isn't about avoiding obstacles. It's about how we handle them. Every time we face a challenge, it's a chance to build resilience. It's not about the struggle itself, but how we perceive it. Do we see the difficulty as a barrier, or do we view it as an opportunity to grow? Rebuilding ourselves requires a shift in mindset, choosing to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Each challenge we encounter provides us with the raw material to rebuild stronger. When we face a hardship, we can either allow it to defeat us, or we can choose to learn from it. The pain of failure, rejection, or loss is an inevitable part of life, but it doesn't have to be the end of our story. Resilience allows us to endure the hard times, and growth ensures we emerge from them better equipped for the future. The process of rebuilding involves more than simply enduring hardship. It's about using those experiences to fuel personal growth. Growth isn't always comfortable, but it is necessary. When we encounter a challenge, we are often pushed out of our comfort zone, and it is in that discomfort that true transformation happens. Growth means looking at our weaknesses and deciding to strengthen them. It means identifying the areas of our lives that need attention and making a conscious effort to improve. Rebuilding ourselves requires us to recognize that we are not finished products. We are constantly evolving, and our past struggles and failures are part of that process of evolution. In fact, those difficulties often serve as the catalyst for our greatest growth. Think of a tree that's been through a storm. The storm might strip away its branches and leave it looking battered and broken, but over time, that tree will grow stronger. Its roots will deepen. Its trunk will thicken and new branches will begin to form. The storm didn't destroy the tree. It shaped it. Similarly, in our own lives, the challenges we face shape us. We become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling future challenges. This is the essence of growth. It's about taking what life throws at us, learning from it, and allowing it to transform us. The growth that comes from resilience doesn't happen overnight. It's not a quick fix, nor is it something that can be forced. It's a gradual process that requires patience and perseverance. It's easy to want immediate results, especially when we're faced with difficult situations, but the reality is that true growth takes time. Just like a seed takes time to grow into a strong tree, the work we put in to rebuild ourselves will yield results in due time. The key is consistency. Every day that we choose to face our challenges with resilience, we take one step closer to growth. In this process, it's also important to acknowledge that growth is not always linear. Some days will be harder than others, when setbacks may seem overwhelming. There will be times when it feels as though we're not making progress, but this is all part of the journey. Growth involves periods of struggle and stagnation, but these are often the times when we are learning the most. We might not always see it in the moment, but every challenge, every setback is contributing to our eventual success. Resilience and growth go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Resilience is what keeps you moving forward when everything feels like it's falling apart. And growth is what comes out of that resilience. Without resilience, we would remain stuck in our struggles, unable to move forward. Without growth, we would never reach our full potential. Together, they form the foundation of rebuilding yourself. It's a constant process of enduring, learning, and evolving. At the heart of this process is a commitment to not just survive, but to thrive. When we choose to embrace resilience, we are choosing to grow. We are choosing to rise above our circumstances, to turn our pain into purpose, and to build a life that reflects our strength. The storms of life may be inevitable, but how we rebuild ourselves afterward is up to us. Each challenge, each setback, each failure is an opportunity to build resilience. And through that resilience, we will grow stronger than we ever imagined. You see, the most powerful thing you can do when you're knocked down is to get up. Not just get up physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Rebuilding yourself requires you to tap into that inner strength, that unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you are capable of rising above. When you choose to rebuild, you're not just repairing what's broken, you're transforming it into something stronger, more resilient, and more focused. Personal accountability is one of the most important elements of rebuilding yourself. It is the cornerstone of personal growth and transformation, and without it, it's nearly impossible to create lasting change in your life. At its core, personal accountability is the recognition that you are responsible for your actions, decisions, and the outcomes in your life. It's about acknowledging that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we always have control over how we respond. This mindset is essential for rebuilding because it empowers us to take ownership of our lives rather than allowing external circumstances or other people to dictate who we become. When we talk about personal accountability in the context of rebuilding, we are acknowledging that the power to change lies within ourselves. It's easy to blame others for the things that go wrong in our lives, the job we lost, the relationships that ended, or the mistakes we made. But true growth comes when we shift the focus away from external factors and look inward. It's about saying, yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, things haven't gone the way I expected. But what can I learn from this, and how can I change my actions moving forward? This ability to own our actions and their consequences is what gives us the power to rebuild. When we accept responsibility for where we are, we stop being victims of circumstance, and we start becoming architects of our own future. One of the biggest challenges in cultivating personal accountability is letting go of the tendency to blame others. Blaming others can feel like a quick way to make sense of our struggles, but in reality, it only keeps us stuck in a cycle of powerlessness. If we continually place the responsibility for our lives on the shoulders of others, we disempower ourselves. We give away our ability to change and grow. Rebuilding requires us to let go of this habit and face the truth that we are the ones who are in control of our destiny. It means being willing to look at ourselves with honesty and ask hard questions like, how did I contribute to this situation? Or what could I have done differently? When we take this approach, we not only open ourselves up to growth, but also gain the clarity needed to make better choices in the future. Being personally accountable doesn't mean that we are always to blame for everything that happens to us. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes we face challenges that are beyond our control. However, what we can always control is how we respond to those challenges. We have the ability to choose our attitude, our actions, and our mindset. By accepting accountability, we acknowledge that we have the power to make decisions that shape our reality. Whether we are dealing with a personal failure, a setback in our career, or a challenging relationship, we can choose how we move forward. We can choose to learn from our experiences and use them as stepping stones, or we can let them hold us back. Personal accountability is the key that unlocks the door to a life of empowerment and transformation. Another crucial aspect of personal accountability is the understanding that change starts with us. It's easy to look at the circumstances around us and wish they were different. We often want external factors to change, whether it's our job, our finances, or our relationship. But the truth is, lasting change begins within. Personal accountability means that instead of waiting for the world to change for us, we take the initiative to change ourselves. If we want to build better relationships, we need to examine our own actions and behaviors. If we want to advance in our careers, we need to take responsibility for our growth and development. Rebuilding ourselves requires a proactive approach, actively seeking ways to improve, to grow, and to make better choices. Taking responsibility also involves being honest with ourselves about our goals, desires, and limitations. Often we set goals based on external expectations or societal pressures, but true personal accountability means aligning our goals with our authentic desires. It means being honest about what we truly want and being willing to take the necessary steps to achieve those goals. This may require stepping outside our comfort zone, confronting our fears, and challenging the beliefs or habits that hold us back. Rebuilding yourself means aligning your actions with your true purpose, and that can only happen when you take full responsibility for your life. It's important to remember that personal accountability is not about perfection. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. However, the key is to learn from those mistakes rather than repeating them over and over. When we hold ourselves accountable, we recognize that mistakes are part of the learning process. They are not failures. They are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. By taking ownership of our mistakes and understanding what went wrong, we can ensure that we don't make the same errors again. Rebuilding yourself means developing the ability to forgive yourself for past mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with greater wisdom and strength. Personal accountability also fosters a sense of integrity. When we take responsibility for our actions, we build trust, both with ourselves and with others. Integrity is the foundation of strong relationships. And when we hold ourselves accountable, we demonstrate that we can be trusted to do what we say we will do. This trust is crucial, not just in our relationships with others, but also in our relationship with ourselves. If we cannot rely on ourselves to follow through on our commitments, we undermine our own sense of self-worth and confidence. Rebuilding ourselves requires a commitment to living in alignment with our values and being true to our word. Ultimately, personal accountability is the key to freedom. It may seem paradoxical, but the more responsibility we take for our lives, the more freedom we gain. When we stop blaming others and start taking ownership of our decisions, we reclaim control over our destiny. We stop allowing external forces to determine our happiness and success, and instead, we recognize that the power to shape our future lies in our hands. By accepting personal accountability, we free ourselves from the cycle of regret, blame, and passivity. We open the door to a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Rebuilding yourself is a lifelong journey, and personal accountability is the foundation that supports that journey. Let me remind you that rebuilding yourself starts with accountability. It starts with owning your decisions, your thoughts, and your action. It means saying to yourself, I may have made mistakes, but I will not be defined by them. Rebuilding starts the moment you stop blaming others for your struggles and start taking control of your life. No one can do this for you. You have to make that choice every single day. And as you rebuild, know that this is a journey, not a destination. It's about improvement, not perfection. You'll make mistakes, you'll stumble, but with every step, you'll grow stronger. You'll learn more about who you are and who you can become. Your growth won't be linear, but every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. You're never truly done rebuilding because you are always evolving, always becoming better than you were yesterday. Self-awareness is the ability to understand your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and how they influence your life. It's the cornerstone of rebuilding yourself because it allows you to take a deeper look at who you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. Without self-awareness, we live life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances without fully understanding the impact of our choice. It's only by becoming aware of our inner world that we can begin to make conscious decisions that align with our values, goals, and true potential. To rebuild yourself, you must start by understanding yourself. The first step towards self-awareness is being honest with yourself. This means facing the truth about who you are, not who you want to be or who others think you should be. It's easy to lie to ourselves or hide behind false narratives to protect our ego. We tell ourselves stories about why things are the way they are or why we made certain choices. However, true growth begins when we stop making excuses and start facing reality. This means confronting our weaknesses, our fears, and our mistakes. It's uncomfortable, but it's the only way to move forward. When you understand your current state, you gain the clarity needed to make changes that will actually lead to growth. Self-awareness also involves recognizing the patterns in your life. Our past experiences shape the way we react to situations, the way we interact with others, and the decisions we make. Often these patterns are so ingrained in us that we don't even realize they're happening. For example, if you've been through a series of toxic relationships, you might subconsciously repeat the same behavior or attract the same type of person. This pattern may be rooted in insecurities or past trauma that you haven't yet dealt with. Recognizing these patterns is crucial for breaking free from them. Once you identify the cycles that are holding you back, you can take intentional steps to disrupt them. Without self-awareness, these patterns remain invisible, and you continue to repeat them without realizing it. To rebuild yourself, you must examine the areas of your life where you're stuck and identify the underlying beliefs or habits that are perpetuating those patterns. Another key aspect of self-awareness is understanding your emotional triggers. Our emotions play a significant role in how we navigate the world, and they often have a stronger influence on our decisions than we realize. When we react impulsively to a situation, it's usually because something triggered an emotional response. These emotional triggers can be tied to past experiences, insecurities, or unresolved issues. For example, if you feel rejected when someone disagrees with you, it may stem from a deep-rooted fear of not being good enough. By becoming aware of these emotional triggers, you gain the ability to respond consciously instead of reacting impulsively. This shift in perspective allows you to make decisions that align with your long-term goals rather than being driven by immediate emotions. To rebuild yourself, it's essential to examine how your emotions influence your actions and take responsibility for those reactions. When you learn to manage your emotions, you can avoid destructive patterns and begin making decisions that support your personal growth. Self-awareness also involves understanding your values and how they shape your choices. Our values are the guiding principles that influence our decisions and behaviors. When we are aligned with our values, we feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. However, when our actions contradict our values, it leads to frustration, regret, and a sense of disconnection. For instance, if one of your core values is honesty, but you find yourself lying to avoid conflict, this disconnect creates inner turmoil. Self-awareness allows you to examine your values and ensure that your actions align with them. It also helps you recognize when you're compromising your values for short-term gain or out of fear. Rebuilding yourself requires a deep understanding of what truly matters to you and being honest about whether your actions reflect those beliefs. When you live in accordance with your values, you experience a deeper sense of satisfaction and authenticity in your life. Moreover, self-awareness helps you identify your strengths and weaknesses. We all have areas where we excel and areas where we struggle. Understanding both is essential for personal development. Recognizing your strengths allows you to leverage them to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. On the other hand, understanding your weaknesses provides an opportunity for growth. Instead of ignoring or denying them, self-awareness allows you to confront your limitations and work on improving them. If you're aware that you struggle with patience, for example, you can take steps to develop more patience through practice and self-reflection. Rebuilding yourself is a process of continuous improvement, and self-awareness allows you to make informed decisions about where to focus your energy. It gives you the power to acknowledge your limitations without judgment, allowing you to grow beyond them. Self-awareness also involves recognizing the influence of external factors on your life. Our environment, the people we interact with, and the media we consume all have an impact on our mindset and behavior. Sometimes we're not fully aware of how these external influences shape our thoughts and actions. Self-awareness allows you to step back and assess how these influences are affecting you. It gives you the power to set boundaries, walk away from situations that drain your energy, and seek out relationships that support your growth. Rebuilding yourself requires a conscious effort to curate your environment and surround yourself with people and things that align with your goals and values. One of the most powerful aspects of self-awareness is the ability to change your perspective. When you are aware of your thought patterns, emotions, and behaviors, you can choose to change them. This is the essence of personal growth, being able to observe yourself without judgment and then make intentional choices to improve. Self-awareness allows you to see situations from different angles, helping you to shift your mindset and develop a more positive, growth-oriented perspective. It's through this ability to reflect and adapt that you are able to rebuild yourself. In conclusion, self-awareness is the foundation for rebuilding yourself. It allows you to understand your inner world and how it affects your actions and decisions. Through self-awareness, you can identify patterns, manage emotional triggers, align with your values, and leverage your strengths while working on your weaknesses. It enables you to take responsibility for your choices and create a life that reflects your true potential. Rebuilding yourself starts with the honest and continuous practice of self-awareness, and through this process, you open the door to transformation and growth. In conclusion, rebuilding yourself is a journey that requires commitment, self-reflection, and accountability. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, understanding your emotional triggers, and aligning your choices with your true values. Self-awareness allows you to see who you are, recognize where you need to grow, and make the conscious decisions needed to transform your life. Remember, every challenge and setback is an opportunity for growth, and by embracing these opportunities with honesty and determination, you can create a life that reflects your true potential. Good luck on your journey of self-rebuilding. May you find the strength, clarity, and resilience to grow, learn, and reach new heights. Thank you for your time and attention. And remember, the power to change lies within you. Keep moving forward with confidence and purpose. Thank you.